So you've been selected, right? You have won the DV lottery and you have randomly been selected and everything. So at this point, congratulations. So I know you could be watching this video and you've probably just applied and you're thinking, oh my God, if I get selected, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, we can only hope that you do. But if you've been selected and you're out here looking for information, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations, yeah. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what the next steps are. So you've been selected, then what? What are you doing after finding out, oh my God, I have been selected? What do I do next? Of course, all of these things come with instructions, yeah? There is a manual, a manual for you to follow, what you need to do and everything. But I found that it helps when someone helps you break everything down, yeah? And that is what I'm going to be doing for you because I have lived it, I have been through it. So I feel like I have the moral authority to tell you about this, yeah? So if you're watching my face or seeing me for the first time, my name is Rachel Agasha. I'm an immigrant from Uganda. I traveled to the United States in August last year, that is 2022. And I could say I've been here for a year and a few months, yeah? So of course, right now is the time when people are applying and everything. And I'll remind you, if you're watching this video and you've not applied yet, I think you should. In my previous videos, I have attached the application link in the comment section. So it's the first thing that you will see as soon as you tap the comment section. So, I mean, you have nothing to lose, right? Just try it and move on. All you need is a beautiful picture, a perfect American sized picture, and you're good to go. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So at this point, you finish checking your status and they've told you, like I said earlier, they will not send you an email. They'll not send you an email telling you, oh, you've been selected. No, you're going to use the confirmation number, the number that you get right after applying, because there's that whole, yeah, you've been like there's a success, you've succeeded, we apply and everything. So the confirmation number is what you enter into the website. There's a website, you put in your confirmation number and then they'll tell you if you've been selected or not. So what you're going to do for starters is fill the DS260 form. Now this is an online form that you fill. It basically has, it requires you to fill in your name, your address, your background, all those things. This is why they collect all the information that they need to know about you. Now, if you are applying and by the time you applied, you were not married, this is when you make that known that, you know what, I am married. Or if you're divorced in that time period, you share that information. No, I divorced. If you got a child, a baby or whatever, that is when you fill it, because the information that you put in this DS260 form is conclusive information. This is information that they're going to affiliate to you, yeah? So the moment you make any changes after filling this form, it could get you issues. You could even get disqualified for doing that. So if you want to change anything, this is the point at which you do that, yeah? So personally, I thought that I needed to have gathered all my documentations before filling the DS260 form, but I was wrong. So what you do is, as soon as you are selected, like I said, there's instructions for you to follow. So just read the instructions, fill the form. Also, when you're filling the form, they give you a maximum of 30 seconds or minutes. So when you start, you can't stop, because the moment you stop, you have to go back to zero, and it's a lot of information. So you want to give yourself like an hour or two. Take your time and fill in all the details, because like I say, this is the final form. And once you're done filling that form, you submit it. They actually tell you to print this form out, because when you go to do the interview and everything, they'll ask for it. So once you finish filling that form, print it out and keep it, yeah? I printed mine in color and then in black and white as well, in case they needed like photocopies and all, so that I wouldn't be out here, you know, struggling. But yeah, you need to print it out, because when you get there, they'll ask for it. Do not forget to print it out. You need to print it out, yeah? Yeah, then the second thing that you want to do after you've been selected is gather your documentation. Now, one thing that they are very, very sensitive about is documentation, because everything that you said in this form has to be backed up with the what? With the documents. Now, the documents that you need, I'll do another video on the documents that you need, but you're going to need your birth certificates. You're going to need if you're married, you're going to need a birth certificate of everyone, your wife, your husband, your children. For everyone that you intend on attaching to your form, you have to have their birth certificate. For the adults, you're going to need the court police records, letter of good conduct. Now, from Uganda, you get that from Interpol. But one thing I advise is that you want to do it early. One thing for sure is they need this record to be 6 months prior. So once you do it 6 months before, you might have to do another one, because they're keeping a record for your 6 months, like in the 6 months. If you commit a crime within, it will reflect, yeah? But then also they will not allow a letter of good conduct that is older than 6 months. I don't know if you get what I mean. So you want to get it like towards the interview time. You get what I mean? Yeah. So birth certificates, all your academic documents. I know I did not attach my P7, but my Form 4 transcripts, my Form 6, my diploma. At that point, by the time I applied, I was still in law school, so I didn't have the bachelor's degree transcript, yeah? But I had my diploma. I did a diploma in law, so I had to get those transcripts. Do not laminate your transcripts. I mean, there is a clear instruction. Do not laminate. So if you've not laminated them, please don't. And if you have, I honestly do not know. They care mostly about the certificate. They do not care about the transcript. They want the certificate. So if you've laminated your transcript or your transcript, that's okay. The certificate, please go to the schools where you went to school and ask for these certificates, because they want the certificates and not the transcripts. Like, the transcript is where you have the grades. Oh, I got this and this and this and this. They don't care about that. They want the certificate. I don't know if you get what I mean. So and so completed this, I mean, like, let's say they're Form 6 and they got their whatever, that is what they're looking for. So yeah, the documents, I would require that you also have your, the vaccination documents. If you've had your COVID vaccine, you should have the certificate. If you've done the yellow fever vaccine, have that paper, the yellow paper. You've done hepatitis B, have it, because the other requirement is that you complete a medical exam. Now, the medical exam, one thing that you need to know for sure is that if you are selected in May 2024, you have a span of a year for you to be able to put yourself together, because best believe the money is a lot. Best believe the documentation is a lot. Yeah, because some of us don't even have a birth certificate. So I know in Uganda, Nira, if you went to, there's that new hospital in Kampala, Mulago, they can help you get your birth certificate as soon as you need it. Then have the vaccination papers, those things, yeah, because like I said, the next requirement is doing an examination. So what happens is, after that time, they'll schedule an interview for you, and before you do the interview, you have to have gone through the medical exam. Now, for me, we had to go to Nairobi. We did not do the interview in Uganda, but we had to go to Nairobi. So when they send you the confirmation, okay, the date for your interview, they also attach information of where you can do your medical exam at. Now in Nairobi, you do the exam at IOM. IOM does your medical exam and sends the results to the embassy. So by the time you go to the embassy, your exam is already there. And best believe, if you fail the medical exam, you do not do the interview. So you need to watch the next video and know how to go about this whole medical exam thing. So like I was saying, if you've had most of these vaccines, it kind of reduces the costs of the medical exam, because the medical exam is expensive. When I did mine, they told me that I need to show up with 1.5 Ugandan million shillings for the exam. Yeah, so I don't know how your financial standing is, but I know that was a lot for me, because on top of everything, you're traveling, you know, those expenses, it was a lot. But if you get these vaccines prior, it kind of cuts down the costs, right? Yeah. So after you've done the medical exam, then you need to prepare for your interview. Yeah. Now, for you to do the interview, one thing I know for sure is the interview should not be stressing you. If you've mentioned that you are married, yeah, then you are married. I do not know what kind of interview married people do, but I know my interview was less than 5 minutes. Why? Because when you filled your DS260 form, all of the information you put in there is everything they are looking for. I think it changes up, they switch things up a little for the married people, because they need to be sure whoever you're saying you're married to is actually your wife or your husband. But for me, being by myself, they basically asked me the things that I had already answered in the DS260 form. And then this guy tells me, raise up your right hand. I raise my right hand. Do you solemnly swear that whatever it is that you've mentioned in this document is the truth to the best of your knowledge? I'm like, yes, I do. And that was it. Yeah. So after you do that interview, you've prepared for the interview. When you are done with the interview, they'll retain your passport and then tell you to pick it up from the DHL officer that you said you would pick it up from. So the next thing you want to do is get your passport, because you have to travel with your passport, right? So when you go to do the interview, of course you have to pay some fees for the visa. Yeah. Then they also mention paying money for the green card. Yeah. So they ask you to pay $220. Yeah. That is what we paid then, $220, so that they start processing your green card. Now, by the time you reach the US, your green card is already processed. However, the stitch is that when you do not successfully make the payment, you pay extra $30, I think, for wasting their time or whatever. So that is what I did. I paid for my green card in Uganda, and somehow the payment didn't go through. I'm not saying it won't go through, but when I came to the US, I actually paid from the US, and somehow it was faster and quicker. But I had to pay the extra 30 because I tried once and I failed. So you don't want to keep trying, because you pay an extra $30 every time you try and you fail. You pay an extra $30, which you don't want to be going through, because $30 is a lot of Ugandan money. Yeah. So you might want to travel and then do it here, because it gets much easier when you are in the States. Yeah. Then another thing, you need to finalize of course, after the interview and everything, you have to prepare to travel. Now you need to travel because your visa is 6 months long. So your visa will expire after 6 months from the time your visa has been approved. Yeah. So you have to travel within those 6 months. Be in the United States, start the whole process of processing your green card, because you don't want to be in a place where your visa is expiring and you're still in your home country. You get what I mean? Yeah. So what you do is, after you've done that, when you travel, now when you finish the interview, yeah, they'll send a package and your passport together. Now there's an envelope in the package, and there will be clear instructions. Do not open this package. Please don't open the package. There is no money, there is nothing in there, it's just your documents, right? Because I didn't know what was in there, and they can tell if you open it. So please don't open the package. Just keep the package far away from the children, water and all those things, because when you reach the port or at immigration in the US, you give these envelopes, or this envelope, to the officers, the immigration officers, and then they'll ask you, where do you want your green card to be sent? Now, in a situation where you know for sure you're not going to be at the address where you indicated as your host, put an address where you know if this green card came, it will reach you because you don't want it getting lost between places and everything. My situation, my host was different and I went to live in a different place. So these guys were asking me, where should we send your green card? And I was here saying, oh, to my host. I'm like, no, you do not want your green card to go to a place where you are not. So make sure you are providing an address where these your green cards for you and your family, or your green card will go to you. Yeah, then I think that would be practically everything that you need to do. And I really hope and pray everything goes well for you. I'll be making another video on the prices and the costs and the interview and the medicals and everything. I just thought I'd run through this really quick, and I hope I helped you put yourself together. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Please leave a like for the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'll see you in our next video. Stay safe and take care. Bye.